This is the NBA on NBC. The 1991 NBA playoffs. Tonight, Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland Trail Blazers.
The Coliseum in Portland, Oregon. The crowd noise level 1 expects to hear at college games at Duke or Kentucky, Arkansas, the University of New Mexico. Rock concert levels from the nearly 13,000 fans sold out for some 14 consecutive years. And tonight, its energy spawned from desperation. Their beloved Trailblazers, favorites for the NBA Finals, are now one game from being sent home on vacation. The Lakers lead 3-1. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Enberg with Steve Jones. The Lakers return to the Northwest after 2 very convincing wins down at the Forum and are 1 win away from meeting Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in the NBA Finals. Meanwhile, these fans, while they cheer, are wondering what happened to our Blazers.
Well, what happened to their beloved Portland Trail Blazers was this, Dick. They ran into a team that is extremely good at controlling the tempo of the game. Everybody in the NBA knows that Portland is the most explosive team in the open court. They've slowed them down, and they've been able to reel them in, and Portland's got to throw everything that they have at them tonight.
Well, then, setting up this 5th game of the series, let's look at some key ingredients, these 6 that have determined the pace of this series.
A report card, if you will. The home court advantage by virtue of Portland beating the Lakers in the series 3-2, and the best record in the NBA belonged to Portland. No one in the NBA argues that Portland had the best talent and the best depth. But by virtue of the Los Angeles Lakers winning game number 1, they snatched that home court advantage away from the Portland Trail Blazers. Now you couple that with their age and their experience in situations such as these, they had a big plus. The strategy of slowing Portland down was a big mark on the side of Mike Dunleavy, and the poise and leadership of Magic Johnson has been excellent. Therefore, they get an A. The Trailblazers, they have a C.
Well, Magic Johnson, an A+. He has the real hocus pocus trying to pull another NBA championship out of the hat. What can we expect then Portland to do tonight?
You know, Portland is an aggressive team, and they've been caught somewhere between passive and aggressive. And I think tonight we'll see an all-out concerted effort for Portland to be aggressive and make things happen with their athleticism, get into the open court, and try to break this thing open.
And they'll have this enthusiastic crowd to push them on that way. They are not only bucking the Lakers, Portland, they're bucking some tough history. Only 4 times in NBA playoff history have a team rallied from a 1-3 down situation. The last time, Boston, 10 years ago. There have been 32 opportunities since that 1981 series for someone to rally, and they have all failed. Portland will try to make some of their own magic tonight, and we'll meet the starting lineups in just a moment. Well, it's dinner time here in the Northwest just after 6 o'clock, and the fans certainly are hungry for a win. They're going to have to see a Portland team that improves its shooting, especially from outside. The Lakers have been packing it down deep in the paint, and unless Portland can free up some room with some outside shooting, it's going to be a problem for them. And a problem already, maybe the difference in hitting and missing has been the height of the baskets. Let's go to Tom Hammond for that report.
Well, Dick, leave it to the guards to know just how high the basket is. Jake O'Donnell, one of the officials here, there was a problem with the height of the Portland basket. Is that right? Who discovered it?
Yeah, Terry Porter brought it to my attention. He said, I think the basket's high. I said, okay, we'll check it. When we did check it, it was high. It was about 10.5 feet. So we had to get the basket lowered to 10 feet.
What about the Lakers end?
Well, since we did it that end, I thought I'd walk down to the Lakers end and check that out, and which I did, and that was up about 1/4 of an inch too. So we adjusted that to 10 feet. Now we don't have to worry about it at halftime if Terry Porter would notice it.
Did you expect that Terry Porter would know the height of the basket that exactly?
Most shooters can tell, but it surprised me because when I went down to him, I said Buck Williams probably noticed it, but Terry Porter was the one that picked it up.
All right, Dick, we're a little bit delayed, but the baskets are exactly 10 feet.
The Lakers and the Blazers in the regular season. Portland winning the series 3-2. Los Angeles. And Mike Dunleavy, the youngest coach in the NBA, his first year after replacing Pat Riley. They started 1-4, 2-5, and many folks down in Los Angeles were saying, well, all those championship years are over. We'll just have to relax and hope that Jerry West, the general manager, can build a new championship team. Maybe everyone was guilty of underestimating the talent of Dunleavy as a coach, and there's Rick Adelman, who finished second in the league in the NBA coaching honors won by Don Chaney down at Houston.
Well, I think there's no question that they underestimated Dunleavy's resolve as a first-year head coach and the resolve of the Los Angeles Lakers to get back to this point.
And now they're ready for the starting lineups as we join public address announcer Mike Stone.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for tonight's game. First, for the visiting Los Angeles Lakers. Starting at 1 forward, 6'9" from North Carolina, number 14, Sam Perkins. At forward, from North Carolina, 6'9", number 42, James Worthy. The center, 7'1", from Yugoslavia, number 12, Vlade Divac. At guard, from Arizona State, number 4, 6'4", Byron Scott. And at guard, 6'9", from Michigan State, number 32, Irvin Magic Johnson. The head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, Mike Dunleavy. And now your Portland Trail Blazers. At forward from Longwood College, Virginia, 6'7", number 25, Jerome Kersey. At forward from Maryland, 6'8", number 52, Buck Williams. At center from Eastern Illinois, 7-foot double, the Duck, Kevin Duckworth. At guard from Houston, 6'7", number 22, Clyde Drexler. And the leader of the pack, 6'3", Wisconsin Stevens Point, number 30, Kerry Porter. The head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, Rick Adelman. The officials for tonight's game are Jake O'Donnell, number 11, number 20, Jeff Kersey.
Adelman's Blazers with 63 wins, a club record best in the NBA. Let's go back to Tom Hammond.
Nick, we didn't hear his name in the starting lineups, but if this game is anything like the last two, A.C. Green is going to be a key player for the Lakers. That's a bit ironic because A.C. is from Portland. In fact, went to high school just about a mile from the Coliseum. He was a forgotten man early in the series, got only 3 minutes playing time in Game 2, the only Laker loss. But Mike Dunleavy realized he need A.C.'s physical presence in the lineup. Playing time increased dramatically, and Dunleavy says the play of A.C. Green has been the difference in the last two Laker wins. By the way, the last time the Laker team was in Portland, they were treated to a home-cooked meal at the home of A.C. Green's parents. That is a meal that Magic Johnson says gets 4 stars, but they might have been a little sluggish for Game 2, so no home-cooked meal this time. That'll have to wait for a possible Laker celebration.
That sweet yam pie, I think, is what did them in. We'll give you the whole menu if we have time later on as Magic Johnson and his purple jersey teammates with the Lakers do their fare thee well with the Blazers in white. Kersey against Divac, Game 5, with the crowd on its feet, ready to go. And it's Drexler for Portland. Terry Porter with Byron Scott. Divac and Duckworth, the two big men. Trying to free up Drexler underneath. It's Williams with Sam Perkins. Drexler has James Worthy inside Duckworth against Divac. Kevin Duckworth gets Portland on the board early. That was a very patient first possession, something that Adelman felt he did not have in Los Angeles.
And that is the key in watching Portland at their offensive end when they're in a half-court set, how patient they will be.
Perkins now working on Duckworth, stolen by Porter. Two Lakers back, Porter losing control, and Johnson, Magic Johnson, the defender for L.A. There's Divac at the other end, and he is fouled by Duckworth.
Kevin Duckworth is first personal, first
Duckworth said that he was going to stay inside the paint. He was going to try to stay at home and try to score inside, give Portland some presence, and right out of the box. And this is a hoop that he sorely needed, along with the Trailblazers, to give them an inside player in a half-court game. But unfortunately, right back at the other end, fouling Divac for his first personal foul.
Duckworth on the All-Star team this year, the only non-first-round pick to go to Charlotte. He was selected in the second round by San Antonio out of Eastern Illinois. Vlade Divac hits them both, and it's tied at 2.
And the reason I say it's unfortunate for Duckworth, because he has a tendency to pick up fouls in a hurry, and that could influence what happens for Portland and certainly help the Lakers out.
Here's their star player, Drexler, their all-time scorer. He's short, and Perkins takes it off for Los Angeles. Magic Johnson always looking to run if it's there, but basically a patient, slow-down half-court team, this L.A. club this year. Unlike the Riley teams of the past, and we get our first call of illegal defense by the veteran Jake O'Donnell against Terry Porter, a warning the first. From now on, any illegal defenses by Adelman will cost him a free throw.
And that is, as we take a look at him, he's telling his team to get back, but that is the in-between decision problem that the Trailblazers have had. They had a mismatch and couldn't make up their mind when to go.
Magic with Drexler, 2 stars, man-to-man. Perkins pops, and Los Angeles leads 4-2. Sam Perkins acquired from Dallas. They couldn't meet his salary demands, and L.A. picked him up as a free agent. He's really delivered down the stretch. Kersey is free for 16. Magic Johnson with a rebound. Kersey trying to put some early pressure on Johnson. Perkins. And it's traveling on the Laker forward.
Perkins had the right idea. He realized he had a mismatch with Duckworth out on the perimeter, tried to get inside, turn the ball over, see if Portland can come back and take advantage of it. The last time down, it was 2 passes and a shot. Drexler trying to pull his way in.
And Johnson has another rebound. The Magic Man from Michigan State, and Drexler with a near steal. Byron Scott is the hottest of the red-hot Laker shooters, hitting 67% in the playoffs. Johnson, his shooting percentage down, but he does so many things. Stolen by Buck Williams as he slips in on the blind side of Sam Perkins. Trailing 4-2, Portland. Inside to Kersey. He draws the double team. Williams to the open man, Duckworth. Duckworth gets it back, and he's fouled. Perkins.
The Trailblazers coming from the blind side. Magic Johnson directed Sam Perkins down on the box because he had the mismatch against Terry Porter. And the guy that made things happen in game 2, Buck Williams, makes the steal. And then they get down to the other end. And with a good exchange after a double team by Vlade Divac, Kevin Duckworth gets fouled.
Duckworth has all 3 Portland points, and now he looks for the 4-all tie. Loyal Chicago Bears fan, grew up in Chicago area. Big fan of Refrigerator Perry. Lakers lead 4-3 as Perkins brings down the missed free throw. Lakers have been out-rebounded every game of this series, yet lead 3-1. Thus far, they're leading in that count, 4-1. Move by Worthy to score.
That's Worthy's best move, and he gave a little fake toward the middle, spun baseline, and a nice score.
He got up very slowly, Worthy, and he's just coming down court. Tip by him. He has all 5 Portland points. Oh, Worthy says, I need 20-second timeout as he looks to the officials, and the Lakers are going to see just how serious that injury may be. Worthy, who led the Lakers in scoring, during the regular season and leads them in the playoffs, averaging 23.5.
This is Worthy at his best right here when he can wheel to the baseline. Now he has to make an adjustment against a challenging Jerome Kersey, and when he comes down, he jams his ankle. You can see him anguish as he hits the floor, and we'll give you another opportunity to see if you can spot where the injury might have occurred. It's down below.
He stays in the game after the 22nd timeout. Worthy part of that 1982 North Carolina National Championship team. One of his teammates, of course, watching tonight in Chicago, Michael Jordan of the Bulls. Another Sam Perkins, who's in the starting five for Los Angeles. What a club Dean Smith produced.
In this situation, Divac has hurt Portland with his mobility. He got inside but missed the shot.
Missed the easy shot. Buck Williams, the rebound. Porter pops. He's been a bit cold from outside. Kersey takes it away from Divac and then draws the foul. First on the former member of the Yugoslavian Olympic team of 1988, Vlade Divac.
Porter with the quick trigger from the outside, but watch the determination of Kersey to try to get this ball and finally pulls it down. Divac trying to draw the foul and cannot.
James Worthy bats the ball into the backcourt. No violation. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Portland. Drexler. And Portland leads 7-6 with 7:44 left in the opening quarter.
What the Lakers will try to demonstrate in this ball game against the noise and the helter-skelter all-out style of the Trailblazers is their poise and their patience, and they're going to work it. Magic for three.
And it's there. His first shot is for 3 points, and Johnson gives the Lakers a 2-point advantage.
And what Portland must try to do is calm their anxieties, not to try to get a big lead all at once. This is a 48-minute game for them. They have to play each and every minute furiously but under control.
There's the illegal defense warning against Los Angeles. And James Worthy is going to walk out as A.C. Green, the Portland native that Tom Hammond alluded to at the top of our telecast. And Worthy is not going to the bench. He is walking off the court. Worthy going on to the Laker training facility to get some attention from head man Gary Vitti, their trainer, and Tom Hammond will get us a report as soon as possible. Duckworth inside travel. He has led the Trailblazers in turnovers in this series, and they're another.
One of the things that Duckworth likes to do as an offensive player is feel his opponent. He took a couple of extra little steps to get the fine Vlade Divac, got caught by the official.
That's his 20th turnover in 4 games plus this one.
And Dick, we notice in this ball game the Trailblazers are up closer and pressuring Magic Johnson, trying to force some mistakes.
And Divac didn't move to the ball. The turnover against Los Angeles. The 2-men talk. Timeout. Welcome back to Portland, Oregon, and watch now as we look at Worthy as he lands. He'll be coming in right to left on your screen.
He starts out there and he'll come down right on that ankle, and you'll see him reach up and grab it, and that's where the problem is.
Tom Hammond has a report.
Dick, we just got a peek into the Laker dressing room. Worthy is getting his ankle retaped at the moment. At first, they didn't think the injury was serious. In the words of Gary Vitti, the trainer, he tweaked his ankle. He was going to try to go on it. As you saw, he couldn't continue to play. Came out of the game. Right now, he's being retaped in the Laker dressing room and should return to play.
Meanwhile, A.C. Green replaces Worthy on the Laker front line. Portland trailing 9-7, midpoint of this first quarter. No changes for the Blazers.
They're trying to get Buck Williams a shot. He talked about his percentage. He hasn't been able to get going inside. Duckworth rebound.
Kevin Duckworth with a putback, and the quiet man in games 3 and 4 has 7 points already tonight. He had only 7 in the entire game in Los Angeles on Sunday. Magic with 7 gives to Divac, blocked by Porter. Shortest man on the court blocks the 7-footer. And Duckworth walks again. That's his second turnover. He knew it.
Well, Buck Williams felt like he was going to lose the ball on the baseline, and he's thinking, I shouldn't have given that ball to Kevin. Of all of the people, Duckworth ends up anxiety-ridden, turns it over. So a good defensive stand goes for naught. They'll have to try it all over again.
Perkins. And he is hit from the backside. Duckworth and Drexler in the pinch, and I believe it's Drexler that gets the whistle, yes. Clyde Drexler from the University of Houston. One of the game's truly outstanding talents. Doesn't get the publicity nationally that the stars Michael Jordan and Pat Ewing in New York and Magic Johnson in L.A. It's a smaller marketplace, but he's deserving of the same high-level praise.
No question that Drexler is one of the great all-around talents in the NBA, and without him, Portland would be in a huge hole. We just saw an example of some of that all-out aggression. That time it was uncontrolled as Drexler just decided to leave Magic Johnson, crashed into Sam Perkins.
Sam Perkins looking for his 4th point, and the Lakers are in front by 2. If there's a Game 6 Thursday night in Los Angeles, Duckworth keeps it alive. Divac finally for Los Angeles. Magic slowing it down.
This has been their money play, and that's been able to get somebody free. He's going down on the box.
And Divac gives the Lakers a second chance. Magic for 3. No. Round Drexler he goes. And scores, and he is fouled. Buck Williams, first foul.
Magic Johnson faked the shot, and that left the defense open as Johnson came hard to the hoop. Nice penetration and a push by Buck Williams. So the Lakers will get a chance for a 3-point play. And at this point early in the ball game, the Lakers feel that they have command of the game. The Trailblazers have yet to get into the transition game, even though they forced a couple of turnovers.
A.C. Green was the man that was fouled. He was setting the screen for Magic. His first point gives the Lakers their biggest lead, 5. Harry Porter has his first 2. Here comes Kersey. A little out of control. 2 Blazers just now getting into the offensive picture, Duckworth and Buck Williams.
The Lakers have done a great job of getting back. Here comes Drexler to the hole.
And he is fouled. Much like Magic Johnson, when those 2 men, Drexler and Magic, decide to go to the hole as James Worthy returns to the bench and immediately is sent in. When Drexler and Johnson go to the hole, they're either going to get the basket or free throws. It's just tough to deny.
Well, they go in with a lot of authority, and that's the key. If you're going to attack the basket and you don't go in strong in the NBA, you're either going to get the shot blocked or you're going to try to make up a shot that's not going to get there.
14-12, Worthy for Divac, so a shorter lineup for Los Angeles. Worthy and Magic, the all-star tandem. There you see that left ankle, heavily taped. Drexler has 4 points. The Laker lead whittled to 1. 4:45 remaining, first quarter. Post up Magic and then isolate him on Drexler.
They want to make this rotation and force Portland to make some adjustments. Back to Magic 4 and the shot clock.
And he hits the runner. Magic was 7. Lakers lead by 3. Drexler, 3-pointer. Rebound Johnson and the baseball throw to Worthy. What a pass by Magic Johnson. 70 feet, and that would have been Joe Montana's pride and the way he completed it.
The important thing about that is that Worthy left early, and that's how they've been able to get some breaking opportunities. On a long miss like that, the ball usually comes long. You have to have good court balance, and that's been one of the flaws in Portland's series so far against the Lakers. They've been crashing the boards, sending a lot of people in. Worthy leaks out, and this is his first.
Lakers now are perfect 7 for 7 from the line to build that 5-point lead. And they're shooting 71% from the floor.
And that's the number that Portland hoped to see come down.
Duckworth with 9. Over Perkins. Can't get it. Batted back out for Drexler, a new 24. Kersey. Kersey, who had 25 in Game 4, has his first tonight.
In this situation, I think you have to make Magic Johnson a scorer and not a passer. If he's able to distribute the ball, he gets Byron Scott, who's yet to make a basket involved.
And then he hits a three-pointer, Byron Scott, who has been sensational. And oh, how he loves to shoot here in Portland. Buck Williams, the former Maryland star, unable to hit. And out of bounds to Portland.
In the matchup between Buck Williams and A.C. Green, he has a chance to overpower A.C. Green if he can get a shot. Kersey on the foul.
Pushed off on Magic Johnson. His first foul.
Jerome Kersey, his first 5th team foul. Timeout.
And watch this Johnson pad. Winds up. He fires. And look at right on the money. Caught worthy in stride. One of the many, many things that Magic Johnson brings to the table.
Miller Genuine Draft presents #1 draft choices.
Tonight's Miller Genuine Draft #1 draft choice is University of Minnesota All-America Michael Thompson. Thompson was the first player selected in the 1978 draft, ironically by Portland. The two-time All-America for the Gophers, played 7 years here, was traded to San Antonio and then dealt to the Lakers later in 1986. And just a reminder, at the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll select the Miller Genuine Draft player of the game. The Lakers leading 3 games to 1 and are up by 6, 21-15. Just under 3 minutes left in this opening quarter. And a rare free throw miss by Magic Johnson, who shot over 90% on the year. And look at how the Lakers are shooting 6 for 8 from the floor. The Blazers have had 10 more shots to equal that 6 field goals made.
You don't beat anybody in the NBA shooting under 40% while the opponent is shooting that high. So Portland's got to do a better job defensively and certainly find some cheap baskets.
Kersey is open and he is fouled. Jerome Kersey has his 4th point. Perkins picks up his 2nd foul.
Porter finds Jerome Kersey cutting to the hoop. And, of course, Kersey only knows one thing to do, and that's attack the basket, lays it in, draws a foul from Perkins. He'll have a chance for a 3-point play. That's Perkins' 2nd personal.
And both teams now in the penalty the rest of the quarter. 2:42 to go in the first. 3-point play for Kersey. The Lakers lead is 4. Sometimes the contact, sometimes it works for him. He gets the foul.
Well, the difference in the teams has been the maturity of the Lakers under pressure. They have not gotten involved with the officials, while the Trailblazers have been bothered by it.
Drexler to Porter.
Porter wants to go on Magic Johnson.
He just can't find his touch. It's over the top and out of bounds to Los Angeles.
In the only game that they won, Porter was outstanding at pushing the ball hard up and down the floor and also shooting. 12 of 15. His shooting has been down since then.
Needing outside shooting. Is going to be sent in shortly by Rick Adelman. Worthy on Buck Williams. Scott left alone. And he buries it. Byron Scott with 5.
The question that everyone wants to know is how is Scott getting so open? The reason is that they're double teaming and he's the guy that their gambling will eventually miss.
And Duckworth is whistled for his 2nd foul on an illegal pick. And here's Danny Ainge, former BYU star,
replacing Drexler.
You see Duckworth just burying Vlade Divac deep underneath the paint. But this time, part of that flopping of Divac helped him get the whistle. Takes Duckworth, who got off to a very good start out of the ball game.
Cliff Robinson in his second year from Connecticut. The man with the red headband in the first half is in for the first time. Magic throws it away. Williams to Porter to Robinson.
But again, you notice the defensive pressure on Magic Johnson is further down the floor. They're trying to make him use even more time. Magic trying to bust inside.
And he scores. They're going to count it. A foul on the play. No basket. Foul on Ainge. That's a real mismatch. They'll go to work on this. Magic against Ainge. Ainge with a body before the shot.
Magic Johnson will be shooting 2.
One in the penalty for Magic Johnson.
And as I said before, it's fine that Magic Johnson scores points against you, but you don't want him to have the kind of nights that he's been having, where it's 2 for 8, 3 for 8, getting 19 and 21 assists. Should that happen, that means Perkins, Worthy, Scott are all going to have big nights.
5-point Laker lead, final minute, opening quarter. Desperation game for Portland. Porter using the left hand and draws the foul. Byron Scott's first. Perry Porter to the line. One of the several small college products on this Portland team. He's a Milwaukee native. No one recruited him from major schools. Went to Wisconsin Stevens Point and was 2 times an NAIA All-America non-scholarship program, and now one of the top guards in the league.
I think that's one of the intangibles that you can't measure, is the heart and drive of any player that wants to make it to the big time. And Porter's career started very slowly, not only at the college level but the pro level, but he's now considered one of the best at his position.
It's 1 out of 2. Laker lead is 4. Magic Johnson, another rebound. He has 4. AC Green. Ainge up with it for Portland. Buck Williams. Little razzle-dazzle. The Laker lead is 2. Shot clock is off. 18 seconds left in the period. AC Green misses twice. Out of bounds to Portland with just under 2 seconds left in the quarter. Worthy steals it, counts if it goes, and he's off to the right. And that's the end of the first period here at the Coliseum in Portland. The Lakers a win from the finals, 25. The Blazers, 23. They do love this team in Portland. It's the Green Bay of the NBA. You talk to men, women, boys, girls, it's the happening, and it reflects in the TV ratings. This was last Friday night's game from Los Angeles. You see NBC, ABC, the competition, and then game 3 brought back locally to Portland, 36 rating. 55% of the people watching television were watching the Portland game. Oh, those are sensational ratings. While we were in that last commercial, James Worthy leaving the court to go back to the Laker locker room. We'll get a report as soon as we have a definitive announcement as to his condition.
And that is one of the reasons, if you're the Lakers, you want to get a series over as quickly as you possibly can. Injuries can occur, and to key people.
Terry Teagle into the Laker lineup for the first time. Magic for three again, right down the bottom of the well, and Johnson leads the Lakers with a dozen.
In this situation with Porter being guarded by Magic Johnson, Porter's got to try to find a way to get to the hoop.
No one guarding Buck Williams, but he misses the easy shot. AC Green with a rebound. All right, here's that big mismatch. Johnson goes to work on the much shorter Danny Ainge.
They have another one with Kersey guarding Divac, and that's what Magic is trying to get to.
Teagle wide open. He was acquired from Golden State in the offseason. Williams the rebound. Ainge brings it in. Ainge underneath for Robinson. He is fouled. Nope, no basket. Traveling on Cliff Robinson.
Turnovers and unforced turnovers have been a huge problem for Portland in this series, and that's what Rick Allen hopes that they can cut down in order to get a victory tonight.
Magic telling Perkins to post up on the far side. Teagle works on Porter.
Teagle doesn't like this side of the floor as much as he likes the other. He clears out for Magic.
2 seconds on the clock, and Magic hits another. Hocus pocus, Irvin Johnson. And the Lakers enjoy their biggest lead of the game. Robinson fly swatted away by Divac, his second block. Kersey over Green. Divac rebounds. And this is the way Portland played down in Los Angeles. Magic, another three. He's human. Williams to Porter. Ainge is free for 12-footer. Danny Ainge has his first.
Now it is poised under pressure of a game elimination that the Trailblazers have to demonstrate. Magic is trying to apply the hammer right now, and they've just got to keep themselves under control and see if they can do a better job defensively. The Lakers are going to try to get high percentage shots.
2 seconds on the shot clock, and Perkins does not get the basket, but he draws the foul from Cliff Robinson. And with it, a timeout. 9:28 remaining in the opening half. Los Angeles by 5.
Timeout.
Well, everywhere in town you see Go Blazers. It's testimony to these fans, young and old, how involved they are.
Well, Dick, let's take a look at what Buck Williams was able to try to do so successfully in Game 2, and that is double-team Magic Johnson up here. Goes in here, and he, on his own, will try to attack the Magic Johnson and force him away from what they like to do. This is a play that created a lot of turnovers and quicker pace, and that is what Buck Williams is trying to create by leaving his man. Magic Johnson has done a great job in games 3 and 4 of keeping Portland from doing it. Magic Johnson down. Larry Drew in. Clyde Drexler returns to the ball game along with Kevin Duckworth.
Magic Johnson's first dress at the 9:28 mark of the second quarter. Regular season, this is where the Lakers got in trouble. They didn't have anyone that really could come in and fill his shoes, but Larry Drew has done a solid job, the 10-year veteran here in the playoffs.
They went with Tony Smith in the regular season, and Larry Drew was certainly surprised when in Houston series he started getting some calls, and Portland now has a chance to perhaps make a little run, and if they're going to make it, they'll have to make it very short, because if Dunleavy sees any movement in that direction, Magic will come in. We'll probably see a timeout.
Sam Perkins looking for his 6th point. And the Laker lead is 7 once again. Matches their high of the game. Drexler and Porter only 1 for 4 each from the floor. One of the problems for Portland. Ainge over Drew. And the former Boston Celtic, he's the most experienced in terms of playoffs for Portland, has 4 points. Perkins, Duckworth back in. Stolen by Ainge.
When Portland has made some steals, because they're in such a hurry to get to the other end, they haven't handled the ball well.
Duckworth down in the hole, and it's taken away for a moment, then Drexler. 5-footer for his 4th point. Down to 3 points, the Laker advantage.
Now this is Teagle's side of the floor, and they're trying to get him the ball.
Oh, Drexler uses the foot to make that interception, and on the kickball, a new clock, 24 seconds, and the Lakers will play it in from the far sidelines. Drexler on Teagle. 2 great leaders. Teagle can't hit. Robinson rebounds. Wide open is Williams. It's a 1-point game. Buck Williams' first basket. 8 minutes to go in the half. Timeout, Los Angeles. Back at the Coliseum in Portland, where the Lakers' lead has been reduced to 1, and the Lakers continue to play without James Worthy, who sprained his ankle earlier in the game. He's returned to the locker room and still hasn't come back out. He thought that the readjustment of the taping job would eliminate the pain, but it hasn't. He's still feeling pain. They're still trying to get the taping job just right. He's going to try to play again, but so far has not returned to the court. The Lakers still without James Worthy. Dick? Their leading scorer on the season, and of course Magic Johnson in this stretch being rested, and Portland quickly outscoring the Lakers 4-0 and are on a 8-2 run. Worthy, by the way, in the game, 4 points and 2 assists before he was taken out with that injury.
And you see the Lakers' percentage beginning to come down, and Larry Drew has to play with some confidence and authority to look for Teagle's shot.
Harry Teagle, University of Baylor University down in Waco. He's the sharpshooter that Jerry West, the general manager, sought in the off-season marketplace. Good defense by Drew, and Ainge was lucky to dish it off to Drexler. Ainge over the top and out of bounds to Los Angeles. 34-31, Lakers lead. The Bulls swept the defending champion Detroit Pistons impressively, led by the great Michael Jordan. They wait for the winner of this series. Los Angeles 1 win away from the finals.
If you're Mike Dunleavy, you expect Larry Drew to hold the lead for you while you give Magic Johnson some sort of breather. They double team Divac.
And a reach in on Drexler, and that would be his 3rd foul.
Drexler came, and right here he makes the mistake of trying to reach in. And sometimes with that all-out aggression, you're too eager to try to force a turnover. They had Divac backing up from the hoop.
2 team fouls, Portland, none on the Lakers here in the second. Teagle. AC Green battling, and finally it's Robinson for Portland.
Portland was fortunate not to get burned because they had 2 men right at the hoop.
Duckworth fouled by Divac, and that's... Well, let's wait. May not be Divac. Sam Perkins gets his 3rd foul.
That's probably more damaging with Worthy out because they lose a valuable low post player. Drexler for 3.
Gets it back, Drexler. Cliff Robinson. 34-33, Los Angeles. Timeout, Los Angeles.
Timeout, Lakers.
Mike Dunleavy, an 11-year veteran in this league, as a sharp-shooting guard.
Bob Costas along with Pat Riley in New York, and for his primetime debut, Riley forgets to affix...
They had my shooting wireless on here, Bob.
Oh, I see. So now you're double mic'd.
Yes.
A quick thought on the first half.
Right now, the Blazers are continuing to play the Lakers game unless they surprise and change some tactics. It's going to be a long night for them.
All right, we'll be back here at halftime. We'll have a review of what went on today at the French Open, a look back at the Pistons and Bulls and the primetime debut of the shootout. For now, we return to Portland. Dick Enberg and Steve Jones.
All right, Robert, we'll be back with you at halftime. halftime. 34-33 Lakers. James Worthy has returned from the locker room. Let's get a report from Tom Hammond.
Dick, apparently there's one part of that sprained ankle in which Worthy is feeling fairly intense pain. Trainer Gary Vitti made a little pad to fit over it, taped it in place. Worthy is back, and once again he's going to try to play through the pain of that sprained ankle.
Magic Johnson returns after a rest of 2:35 on the game clock. Portland outscoring Los Angeles 6-2. Michael Thompson in for the first time for Los Angeles. Byron Scott off balance. Rebound AC Green. A tiger on the offensive end. Michael Thompson, the ex-Blazer, tips it in for his first points.
Big tip, but it was AC Green that kept that ball alive to give Thompson a chance to bat it in. Now with Thompson guarding Duckworth, Portland has a chance to get some inside points. We'll see if that happens.
And it's against Duckworth for a violation in the lane. Here's turnover.
Green getting that ball up, giving the Lakers one more opportunity, and that's what they didn't have when they were dominated on the glass 51-28 in game number 2.
For the Lakers, Magic Johnson with Michael Thompson, Vlade Divac, a big lineup. And it's Divac free to slam. 38-33 Los Angeles.
Again, with Magic Johnson in, they make the Trailblazers pay for double teaming and not making a good decision.
Drexler tries a three. And the Laker lead is carved to 2 on the 9th point by Clyde Drexler. That's Portland's first three-pointer. They made a lot in the regular year. Scott answers for the Lakers. Oh, does he love to shoot here.
And the only shot that he has missed is when they challenge. He's been open, and when he has, made him pay.
Drexler sets up Robinson and the foul, I believe, on Michael Thompson. As James Worthy comes back in for Los Angeles, and Thompson goes out.
The lineup for Danny Ainge. James Worthy in the lineup.
Worthy, subject of considerable rumors of a possible trade to Charlotte and a big deal between the Lakers and Hornets for that number 1 draft pick of Charlotte. Think that'll happen?
That number 1 pick better be awfully good, because this James Worthy's laid down some real great plays for the Los Angeles Lakers, and you have a difficult chore in trying to replace him with any of the young players out of the draft.
Kersey back in. Cliff Robinson, who's had more than his share of problems from the free throw line. Shooting under 60%, and he misses both on that trip. Lakers retain the 5-point lead. 41-36, 4:50 left in the first half. Magic whistling that pass inside to Divac. Oh, what an assist.
And you see the difference in the Laker performance with Magic Johnson back out on the floor trying to draw the collar on Magic, but Cliff Robinson cannot get the field goal to go down.
Worthy has the foul.
Because of his ability to control the basketball and see the floor at the same time, he's so dangerous with the ball at all times, and a good cut to the hoop. Divac for 2 more.
And Duckworth not wanting to pick up his 3rd foul. Here's Robinson again.
For what the Lakers have done, a couple of timeouts when Portland was surging, slow them down, reinsert Magic Johnson, push the lead. So this has been the storyline in the successes that the Lakers have had, not letting the Trailblazers get on any kind of a roll.
Mr. Robinson finally found a little neighborhood. It's 43-37. He's had trouble getting home. Magic finds the open man, Worthy. And that ankle didn't bother him on that gun. 6 for him.
Notice the Laker percentage was coming down with Johnson out. It's starting to go back up because of the kind of uncontested shots they're getting.
Robinson. A very active big man. 6'10" Cliff Robinson. Byron Scott, no basket. Foul
I believe on Percy. That's right, his second.
13 foul.
Lakers, the team in the NBA that committed the least fouls by a bunch. The next was over 100 more fouls during the course of the year. So they get to the line consistently more often than their opponents.
What they do is try to play position defense. They want to keep themselves between their man and the hoop, and they do a good job.
The steal is by Drexler. Well deserved. The Lakers by 4 with 3.5 to go. First half.
Magic down on the box, and this is when trying to create a play for Scott.
Percy, after Green fails to tip in the shot, and a foul by Green in the backcourt. Be careful, AC. His second.
Scott goes in trying to make a pass. Drexler deflects it to Terry Porter. Percy gets it out on the wing. Clyde Drexler thunders it home. He's got 7 in the quarter. The Trailblazers continue to challenge, but have not been able to get an advantage. An advantage in the fast break point.
And that's their strength. Something that they lacked in Los Angeles.
In game 2, that was 25-2, that number.
AC Green, another rebound. Great pass by Magic. Scott fouled by Porter. And that's going to be the 4th on Portland as a team. So both clubs go to the penalty from now on. Robinson goes out. And Buck Williams returns.
AC Green makes amends. He tells Jess Kersey that was his fault when you told him to be careful. So a veteran knows how to solve these problems with the officials.
Nothing wrong with a little apology. Magic. Rebound Buck. Williams to Porter. Blazers on the run.
Notice how many Lakers back, though. 5 of them back.
Oh, a tough 20-footer by Porter to cut the lead to 2. Now the crowd on its feet. Byron Scott inside, stolen by Drexler. A chance to tie. It's Duckworth. Way off the mark. And it goes out of bounds off Divac of the Lakers.
Trailblazers in their excitement, and yes, we're being blocked by all of the fans that are standing up, but that's the kind of excitement they're waiting for to explode. They got too close in their exchanges with the passes. Fortunate to get that one back.
If you're just joining us here in Portland, the Lakers with 1 game to win to go to the finals. The Blazers are down 3 games to 1, looking for a tying basket. It's Jerome Percy. He's got an 8-point run by the Blazers to tie. Misses, but Divac banks it in.
That was a tremendous follow-up by Vlade Divac. Took it back up strong on a tough defensive effort by Duckworth.
8 points for Divac. Duckworth to Drexler. Percy. Duckworth gets it back, powers it out. But look at Green for the Lakers. He extricates himself. It's a 3-on-1 break, but Scott pulls up.
He wanted that 3 initially, and then they passed up a good chance to get a layup. Now they'll set up.
10 on the shot clock. 50 seconds left in the first half. Magic Johnson fouled by Williams. Second foul on Buck Williams.
Buck Williams, second.
Offensive rebounding has not been the strength of the Laker attack. Duckworth lost it trying to grab it too hard. Divac with real good presence, gathers himself, and one of the few times powers his way in, gets a tough shot from a tough angle. Big hoop for the Lakers to put them up by 2.
Clyde Drexler has been taken out of the game by Rick Adelman, and that's 3 misses.
misses by Magic in the first half from the line. Drexler with 3 fouls, and Adelman doesn't want to risk a possible fourth in these final seconds of the half. The Lakers by 3, 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Danny Ainge in for Drexler.
In these situations, Portland likes to shoot quickly, looking for 2 shots. And this right at the well.
Duckworth misses an easy one, but Williams doesn't. 4 points for him. Difference of about 9 seconds between the game clock that you see and the shot clock. Worthy against Kersey. Gets the roll. Worthy with a shot clock is off. Porter with Scott. 8 seconds.
Portland wants to pick and roll.
Wide open Duckworth, and he's fouled by Divac. Divac skidding toward Klamath Falls there, but he gets the foul.
Give Divac credit for this. The ability to recover. He's way out on the lane. Now watch the ball go back in. Duckworth trying to power his way up. Divac gets back quick enough to still be able to make a play on the ball.
His second foul sends Kevin Duckworth to the line. It's a big trade for Portland when they got him from San Antonio for Walter Berry.
A huge trade because they traded the college player of the year, the #1 pick, for a second-round draft choice and an unknown. Took a year, then Kevin Duckworth exploded when Steve Johnson went down with an injury and has never given up the starting center position. And what he did for Portland was give them an inside score. He's added to his ability as a scoring center to shoot from the outside as well.
Magic Johnson hurries. Ends out the first half. The Lakers unrelenting, still in the lead, 50-47, led by their Magic man Johnson, and Clyde Drexler heating up in that second quarter. Los Angeles by 3 at the intermission. Stay tuned for the Prudential halftime report with Bob Costas and Pat Riley after these messages.
With Pat Riley in New Lakers by only 3 at the half, but the most important thing here as the Trailblazers try to stay alive is this: they're unable to dictate the tempo the way they want it on their own home floor, even with a rabid crowd behind them. They are getting off a shot every 10.3 seconds to the Lakers 1 every 14.5, so they are trying to up-tempo it. But the Laker defense is so good that Portland's percentage isn't what they'd like it to be, and they only get 47 first-half points.
Well, Portland, their offense is based on unbelievable runs. You know, they get these 14-2 runs, 20-6 runs. They haven't even had an opportunity to get a 6-4 run, you know, so they're not getting the ball out, they're not running the basketball up and down the court. And I think one of the reasons why, and we'll take a look at a piece of tape, is the Laker defense is back always. 5 defensive players right here back, pointing at the ball. This random motion offense always allows the Laker defense to keep moving. And right here, there's a frustrating foul right there by Kevin Duckworth, but unless you can bring a defense to a stop, Bob, and get good solid picks and create good shots for your players, you're going to end up getting shots like that. You're going to end up getting frustrating 3-second calls and fouls, and that's been the last 3 games thus far.
Now look at this. In games 3 and 4, where the Trailblazers were embarrassed at the Forum, Drexler, their best player, shoots 13 for 36. Duckworth, who had outplayed Divac in the first and second game of the series in Portland, was outplayed by Vlade Divac of the Lakers in Los Angeles. Duckworth shot 4 of 18 in games 3 and 4. Well, in the first half of this game, Duckworth is 3 for 10. Drexler does lead the Trailblazers with 11 points, but he's 4 for 9, so he hasn't gotten off yet either.
Well, he's a key. Somebody's going to have to step up. What Blazer? Drexler, Porter, Duckworth, maybe even Kersey. Who's going to step forward and really start converting? You can see in the first half thus far, they had 20 layup attempts. They missed 12. They're squeezing the ball, they're pulling the trigger, they're self-willing this thing, and they don't seem really relaxed yet. I mean, you know, the back's against the wall. Everybody knows that, but they should feel at a position right now where they're a little more relaxed, and they know there's no tomorrow, so they just got to play their game.
Okay, switching topics here. Much has been said about the Bulls-Pistons feud through the years, but yesterday, as Chicago completed its sweep of Detroit in the Eastern Finals, the rivalry hit a new low. The Bad Boys Act was in full force, on and off the court.
Nice play. And Lambier taking a shot at Paxson, who did not like it.
They won. What did they do different? They won.
And Scottie Pippen up for a beautiful backdoor pass from Pippen, and he is walloped.
Nothing wrong with that.
Look out. Pippen and Rodman looking to go at each other.
They can take the pacifiers out now, and hey, everything's all right. And Phil Jackson, he really took that diaper off. They was a little too wet now.
He's just so tough to cover. Look at Edwards falling down. All he can do really is tackle the guy.
They won. They won. Making the boys no credit. They won, so hey, let's defend.
Tough crowd. They're chanting, "Go LA!"
We look back with no regrets. We have no remorse.
As time runs down, Pistons wasting full time in getting out of here.
Good luck, but I hope the Lakers beat.
Now, Michael Jordan might have stoked the fire before yesterday's game when he was quoted as saying, "The people I know are going to be happy they're not the reigning champions anymore." We'll get back to the image of a clean game. People want to push Detroit's kind of basketball out, regardless of whether or not that was provocation for the Pistons. Detroit, as a group, they've been great champions. They were hardly gracious in defeat yesterday.
Well, they did something significant the last 2 years, winning back-to-back titles, Bob. And, you know, it's my feeling that Detroit is a team that didn't merely want to be considered just the best of the best. They wanted to be considered the only ones who ever did what they did. They did something significant. But the way they went out and the way they handled it, not with the kind of class. And I know Chuck Daly did his job as far as going over and congratulating Phil and making the statements that I think you have to make in a paper just to show the respect for the winner. And it's a little bit disappointing to me to see this way.
In 1987, when they were eliminated in the Eastern Conference playoffs by the Celtics, remember that series where Isaiah made the ill-advised pass and Bird picked it off and the Celtics stole a victory at Boston Garden? Then Rodman made his terribly ill-advised comments about Larry Bird. There was a big fuss over that. People chalk that up to the Pistons being a young team, inexperienced, perhaps in a pressure situation, gave them the benefit of the doubt. Now they've been to 3 straight finals. They're 2-time defending champions. This isn't a comment about all of them, but some of them, and Rodman is a guy you saw making that comment about Phil Jackson wearing a diaper. You got to believe he didn't learn anything in the intervening 3 years.
Well, you're supposed to grow, and, you know, there's no failure ever if you learn to rise again and to adapt, and obviously they are not adapting to losing right now.
We got to call a timeout. After this, we'll have an update on the second day of play at the French Open. And then, the primetime debut of the shootout. Hold your breath and stay with us. In a one-shot lead. It's all over once we leave the studio for the finals. So unless he can catch up here, he'll be in big trouble. You're ready to fire. I don't want to hold you up. Riley hits. Now, the commissioner has decreed that if, in fact, we wind up tonight tied...
Would you like to shoot my ball?
Is it somehow fixed?
No, it isn't. It's good.
All right, if we wind up tied tonight...
Yes.
...and the Lakers eliminate the Trailblazers...
Everybody cares.
...there will be a sudden death shootout in Chicago. But if the Lakers win tonight and I hit this shot, you're history.
What?
That's right. I have to move the chair. I don't have a good angle.
Oh, come on, now.
All right, here we go. All right. Dead even, and for those of you scoring at home, here's the deal. If the Lakers win tonight, sudden death shootout in Chicago. If the Trailblazers prolong it, back here Thursday night to see what happens.
It took me all season to get to this point.
That's right. Dead even. Back to Dick Enberg and Steve Jones for the second half. After these messages and a word from your local stations. In and out. Yes. In and out.
Dick Enberg with Steve Jones and Tom Hammond, and the ballots are now in. Hammond voted for the outfielder. Who did you like, the outfielder or the shootout?
I had to go for the outfielder.
It's a 3-0 from this end here. The Beaver outfielder going through the fence, the frozen food sign. But nevertheless, we continue here with Game 5. The Lakers leading by 3. And although Mike Dunleavy perhaps saw some things he didn't like in that first half, the Lakers continue to keep the pressure on Portland. Minute season for the Trailblazers.
Well, it certainly could turn out to be a 24-minute season for the Trailblazers if the Portland Trailblazers continue to miss chip shots inside. Hey, it was a huge the lead, but they could not take advantage of getting baskets right at point-blank range. Kevin the leader of the pack in that category as he struggled to get the good shots when he had the good post-up position, even though he got himself off to an excellent start. Portland hopes to improve in that category in the second half.
Let's go to Tom Hammond.
And we're with Rick Adelman. You wanted more patience on the half court in your offense. Did you get that in the first half?
I think we did a lot better job we did in Los Angeles. The disturbing thing didn't convert. I think we shot 45% around the basket, and we've got to do a better job of moving the ball and attacking the basket.
Is struggling. Will you stay with him?
Well, we're going to see what happens in this half. I think, he's gotten some pretty good opportunities. He's going to have to put them in there for us, and if he doesn't, then we can always go to Cliff and become a little bit quicker.
Okay, thank you. Dick?
All right, the Lakers are leading with their free throw shooting, 12 of 15. Well, Portland has made only 6 of 13. That makes up the difference. So L.A. by 3. Ready for the second half. Lakers look to the NBA Finals, and Tom Hammond looks for some answers from Mike Dunleavy.
Mike, a half away from the NBA Finals, and you seem again to be able to control the tempo of the game. Are you pleased with the way that aspect has gone?
Well, we've done a decent job on tempo, but we've gotten hurt on the offensive boards. We've given up 18 second chance points, and that's really hurt us. We've got to come out and do a better job this half.
Only 5 points off the bench. How do you feel about the play of your reserves?
Well, I think that, I look for them to pick us up a little bit more this half, but I'm really more concerned with, like I said, the second chance points and the turnovers that we've had the first half. If we can control that, we'll be in a good position to win.
Will James Worthy be available?
I hope so.
Dick?
That interview just moments ago as we're now into the second half. Lakers with the ball first, 50-47. Sam Perkins finding the open man Worthy. He scored 8 in the first half despite that ankle injury, and he limps somewhat noticeably as he goes back on defense. It certainly hasn't hurt his shooting touch.
It hasn't, but you can see he is bothered by the ankle, and he is trying to cover up for it. We'll see if Portland tries to attack the fact that he isn't nearly as mobile. Looking for Duckworth right away.
It's Kersey down the monster jam, 11 for him. He has equaled Drexler's high for the Portland Trailblazers. Magic Johnson leads L.A. with 15 and a foul. Magic Johnson's first. There, the scoring in the first half. Johnson 15, Worthy now with 2 more, has 10. Drexler 11 and Kersey now with 11. Good distribution of the scoring by Los Angeles. That's been their theme. And actually, according to you, Steve Jones, more that Magic scores, that's the better for Portland.
You check the assist total. Magic Johnson only has 4 assists for the first half. That means that somebody's going to be left out of the second half of play. Magic missed a good opportunity right out of the box and ended up fouling. He saw it, nobody picked him up, went right to the basket, couldn't cash in.
7 seconds on the shot clock as Kersey triggers the inbounds pass. Buck Williams from 12. Doesn't shoot many of those. Hits it cleanly. He has 6 and the lead is 1. Worthy again. Duckworth for Portland. Trailblazers have led only in the early going. Blocked by Divac. Duckworth is fouled.
Drexler thought he got fouled on the way down, but he did the right thing by putting the pressure on the Laker defense. He'll come right down. Scott waves as he goes by. Divac has been very good at reacting, gets a piece of the ball. Kevin Duckworth picks up the foul. We'll see if he can begin to get a rhythm at the line.
3 blocks for Divac, who has led all players in this series. Now has 15. The game is tied at 52. Portland last led 7-6. Trailblazers 53, Lakers 52. Illegal
defense, the call against Los Angeles, and that'll carry with it the technical foul, sending Portland to the line, or check that against Portland, and we'll send Magic Johnson to the line.
The way that happened, they got so concerned about giving help, James Worthy just drifted out. Buck Williams didn't come with him. Magic Johnson bounces it in.
4 for 7 for Johnson. The line, he's not happy with his stroke at all. In fact, he's the only one who has missed a free throw for Los Angeles tonight. Tied at 53.
Looking for Magic down on the sideway. Likes to come back to the baseline for the hook.
Worthy left free. Buck Williams clears for Portland. Porter all alone. And they celebrate the 2-point Blazer lead.
They trapped Divac.
Worthy again. This time he's a little closer in and nails the 13-footer. He has a dozen.
The pick and roll was a favorite play of the Trailblazers, and the Lakers have taken that away. You saw nobody go to the hoop. Here comes Porter.
Perkins throwing up that tall Sequoia. But Porter defies with a drive. He has 7. Magic inside, and he is fouled by Kersey. His third.
Porter didn't get the opportunity like the first time around, but beat Magic Johnson to the hoop. A good, strong drive beats the outstretched hand of Vlade Divac.
Johnson at the line with a game-high 16. He's closing in on the number 6 spot all-time in playoff scoring. Wilt Chamberlain's position. Still not happy with that free throw touch tonight.
It's one of those where it's not quite smooth enough. He's not perhaps have enough leg in it, and he's using a lot of arms, but he gets both of those.
9 to go, third period, tied at 57. Drexler. Worthy with a long rebound. Divac's got away with a push, misses the shot. Oh, that's it. Mishandling the ball. Porter stopped his dribble and then tried to continue. The sleight of hand wasn't quite quick enough.
He didn't have quite that magical touch as he wanted to cross over and touch it with both hands and then to try to continue on. So both teams have miscues.
Oh, Worthy with a charge. Buck Williams with the excellent defensive position. Williams on the first team NBA All-Defense.
You see Buck Williams step away, and a lesson from Vlade Divac says he does a little flop there and draws a foul.
Drexler.
Now, that's where the Trailblazers need to get some help. They need to find someone that's going to knock down that shot. That's the shot that the Lakers are defying them to make. Drexler's missed his last 2.
Drexler is 4 for 12, and that has Coach Adelman a bit puzzled. Under 8 minutes to go. Third quarter, Worthy misses. Kersey with good position on Divac. Still tied at 57. Williams over Perkins. Magic Johnson.
Now that's the impatience that Rick Adelman talked about. That's not the favorite shot for Buck Williams, but he takes it because he's wide open. Kersey, kickball.
Reset to 24.
And again, that comes in that category of playing smart, intelligent basketball where the Lakers have had a decided edge so far in this series. They've been able to do what they like to do best. Portland has not been able to do what they like to do best.
Now they isolate Worthy on the far side.
They're trying to find Vlade Divac because he got a mismatch with Kersey. And in the game 1, he hurt them right with this kind of play. Buck Williams double team.
4 seconds in the shot clock. Worthy can't hit. Perkins there to follow home. And the Lakers lead 59-57 with 7 to go in the third. Mercy blocked by Perkins. Porter for 3. Buck Williams over Magic, can't hit. Percy. Divac with a block, and that melee has his 4th.
They have a pick and roll, and Drexler's got to go strong to the hole.
Just threw up a prayer kind of close, and Williams draws the foul on Divac, his 3rd. Timeout Portland, 6:36 left in the third quarter. Lakers by 2. It's been hardly a joke here in Portland. It's a serious time for the Trailblazers and their fans. Intensely played, very close.
The joke may be on the Trailblazers in the fact that they've been dying to get inside and not been able to cash in on a lot of good opportunities. And certainly that's frustrated the Trailblazers and their head coach, Rick Adelman. And he'd like to see an improvement here in the second half of play.
Biggest lead for the Lakers, 8 points. Biggest for Portland. They've only had the lead a couple of times, 2. At the line, Buck Williams with a chance to tie. Team fouls. Lakers, in this instance, the third, 3-1.
Now, if you're Portland, you've got to look at James Worthy as a guy that you can hurt. He's got that extra wrap on his leg. He doesn't seem to be moving that well. And whenever you've got a chance to make him move and make a change of direction, you got to try to make him happen.
Buck Williams, now with 8 points, ties it up. Byron Scott on a long feed from Magic Johnson.
They've been able to keep Scott quiet, and he has been true to the mark here when he's had a chance to shoot.
10 points for Byron. Percy. Rebound Williams, his 11th of the game. He leads all players. Porter for 3. And Portland takes a 1-point lead. Worthy over Drexler is short. Rebound, saved by Kersey. Drexler to Kersey. And the rebound, Perkins.
Kersey not quite ready to handle that and just pushed it up there. Lakers do a good job of denying Portland an early chance.
Stolen by Porter. 3-on-2. Drexler to Kersey. And that is Portland's biggest lead. 3 points. 5:15 left in the third.
Shot clock at 5.
At 2, Magic Johnson hits the 3 to tie it up. Oh, my. When they need it most, the Magic Man is there to answer. 21 for him. Drexler way off the mark. Divac rebounds. And here he comes.
In this situation, Magic will try to force the defense to collapse, try to score.
Blocked by Kersey, saved by Porter. Magic couldn't believe it. Porter, three-pointer. Rebound, Magic Johnson. The long pass to Worthy, and he couldn't get up. The ankle bothered him there. Normally, Worthy would have had the elevation to catch it. You could see him just unable to put any pressure on the bad ankle, and he's going to come out now. AC Green in.
Magic saw him ahead of the pack and let him enough, and normally this is a catch and a drop for him. You see him hobble as he comes up.
Timeout with 4:08 remaining in the third. All tied up at 64. Yeah, Portland's seen about as much of that old prestidigitation as they want from Magic Johnson.
They want some magic of their own, and they turn it around at the defensive end, which has been their staple all season long, forcing turnovers and then generating points off of the turnovers. Jerome Kersey down the lane with the thundering two-hand jam.
Let's go to Tom Hammond. Dick, the status of James Worthy's left ankle continues to be a problem for the Lakers. He sprained it in the first half. He had some electrodes taped into the sock area at halftime, and he's hooked up to an electrical stimulation machine right now. So when he's out of the game, he's hooked up to the electrodes and getting electrical stimulation to try to alleviate that pain.
I'm not going to say he's going to try to spark the Lakers later. I refuse to say that. Inside is Buck Williams. Portland 66, LA 64. Drexler has not scored in the second half.
They need to keep Drexler out on the floor just for his presence and drawing attention defensively and making things happen, but they need to see some points come from him, and the way he's going to get them is by taking the ball to the basket.
Duckworth from outside, way off the mark. Buck Williams gets the loose ball, takes it up. Back out to Porter. Williams slow getting up after being knocked down.
He's hoping for a foul in that situation.
Almost he got 3 seconds. He was resting in the paint. Kersey is spinner. And it's Magic Johnson after the block. Blazers by 2. Less than 3 to go, third quarter. Byron Scott for 2. A.C. Green, he'll get you some offensive rebounds and a foul. It appeared to be Duckworth. It was his third.
They finally got a Scott miss, and A.C. Green beat all of the Trailblazers to the ball, and then Duckworth came down and pushed him out of the way. They had stripped A.C. Green of the ball, so they had done the part in making a recovery save.
Not many whistles here in the third period. 2 team fouls on Portland, 3 against the Lakers. Johnson with that hook he learned from Kareem. Portland by 2. Porter. And a foul against Byron Scott, his second.
Byron Scott.
Porter has gotten aggressive here in the second half of play. He's come out looking to try to put some pressure on the Laker interior defense, draws a personal foul. He'll be at the line. Byron Scott only his second personal foul, 14.
Looking for his 13th point tonight, Terry Porter. And that equals the Blazers' biggest lead, 3. As Cliff Robinson is in for Duckworth.
The Trailblazers lose Duckworth's heft inside, and that keeps people from really getting deep position. Divac and Perkins have a better chance of getting down and getting inside points for the Los Angeles Lakers, and we'll see how Magic Johnson aligns those two players when they come back in the set offense.
Porter's second shot. And with it, a 4-point advantage. The biggest enjoyed by these Blazer fans. Unlike the previous 4, there haven't been any big runs by either team. It's been close throughout. Magic backing Drexler in, gets the double team. That frees up Scott for a moment. Tough chance. Fall away. And Buck Williams has another rebound. He thought he was fouled. Porter. Kersey in traffic. Goaltending Perkins. And Portland leads by 6.
Kersey goes up, and it's a late block by the long arm of Sam Perkins.
Stolen by Kersey, and a foul against the Lakers. On AC Green, his third.
And aggressiveness, that's what won the Lakers games 3 and 4 convincingly, and the Trailblazers trying to do it now with their backs against the wall, coming from all angles, trying to surprise the Laker offense. They force a turnover and get a foul. Now the poise and presence that we talked about, in which we gave the Lakers an A on the report card through the first 4 games, now being severely tested. The Trailblazers need to try to keep the pressure on by making free throws, which they didn't do in the first half.
Kersey gets 1 out of 2. That's 7 unanswered points for Portland. And they lead by 7. And this crowd is like 13,000 jockeys whipping Portland. They want their horse to force game 6. Perkins. Pressure 15-footer from Sam. He has 10. Robinson. 9 for Cliff Robinson. Final minute of the third quarter. Magic. Not there. Here comes Kersey and the Blazers. Porter. Off the side of the board. Last touch by Portland.
Porter with the little chip shot right there. He misses, but Cliff Robinson with great inside position. Part of those second chance points that Mike Dunleavy was so concerned about in the first half of play.
An interesting 20-second timeout called by Mike Dunleavy with only 37.9 seconds left in the third.
Well, I think Dunleavy wants to make sure that they get a good score, and maybe a good score against the pressuring Portland defense that maybe gets them something going against this attack in the fourth quarter of play. There's still 12-plus minutes of time yet to play, and you can see how the Trailblazers have dominated the glass this evening.
The other strategy by Dunleavy was to perhaps take a quick shot here, try to get 2 for 1 in these final just under 38 seconds. Let's see if he goes for a quick hit. Portland consistently out-rebounding Los Angeles, though trailing in the series 3 games to 1. These fans in Portland are just absolutely sensational. Talk about devotion.
They want their season to go on. That's a play, see, and they set that up knowing that somebody was going to come, and Portland has to pay the price. Divac gets 2. Portland should hold for the final shot of the quarter.
The shot clock and game clock almost together, as you can see.
And again, in this situation, I think Clyde Drexler's got to look to try to take the ball to the rim.
Drexler shut out here in the third quarter, wheeling and scoring. Time for the Lakers, 6 seconds. They trail by 7. Turned over. Nope, they say that Drexler had already hit the fan before he knocked the ball back inbounds. The ball was out of play. 3 seconds for Los Angeles.
Players have presence of mind to say, excuse me, to the fans. Now that means that you're really into the ball game.
Green for 3. Oh, almost banked it in. End of 3. Portland, their hopes now more believable. They've opened up a 7-point lead. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. Back at the Coliseum in Portland, the Trailblazers 14 years ago were world champions of the NBA, their only title, and were led by, well, those bottom 2 names, the great Mo Lucas and Bill Walton. And Walton has converted to a correspondent and is writing a column after the playoff games here, and it's been somewhat controversial. Rick Adelman has been quite critical of Walton's words. Let's see what he's reporting on tonight. Tom?
Well, Dick, we've gone in search of Bill Walton and come up empty. Big Red is not here tonight. There's an empty seat on press row where Bill would have been, but he's in San Diego. He will be getting a report by satellite for local TV later, but he didn't come to the game tonight. He has been criticizing the Blazers. I don't know if that means he meant something about their chances not being too good or not. I'm going to let you interpret that.
Okay, Tom. We open the fourth quarter, and James Worthy commits his fourth foul on Clyde Drexler's jumper. That was a big quarter, the third, for the Blazers. And you see after leading, going into the fourth quarter, almost unbeatable odds, although Los Angeles was down by 12 to the Lakers in game one of this series and rallied to win. And that's been the key game of the series.
And that 3, they would have loved to have a race to 2 like the Lakers, and then this series would be tied at 2. And as it is, they will mourn that loss if they can't somehow get game 5 and win in Los Angeles. Drexler with 2.
And a 9-point lead, the biggest for Portland tonight. Biggest by either team. It was a big third quarter. They outscored the Lakers by 10.
Now, Worthy does not have that mobility, and they got to make him make some shots in moving to the hoop. Teagle.
Wide open Perkins as Teagle drew 2 men to his potential jumper, and he saw Sam all alone. 12 for Perkins.
The Lakers will try to keep the game at this pace, and the Trailblazers have to have good patience and good execution.
Kersey. Nice. If Portland wins, game 6 will be at the Forum in Los Angeles Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time here on NBC. If LA wins, the finals begin in Chicago Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time.
What Portland did so well in games 1 and 2, and they didn't do in 3 and 4, was get to the rim and attack the basket. Magic Johnson back down in his office trying to draw the defense.
And he draws the foul. Magic with that incredible ability at 6'9" to handle it like a 5'9" guard, and yet he has the size to go inside and play with the big boys.
But one thing Portland has done is keep him from finding open people tonight. He pays the price for wheeling inside, but they put him back on the line.
Cliff Robinson, his second foul, and Magic now with his 22nd point.
For the Lakers, they've got 10 minutes and 43 seconds to regain momentum and control of the ball game. And they know at this pace they have certainly a very good chance of it. They want to keep Portland from any kind of big explosion.
Danny Ainge is in for Terry Porter. Ainge, tough ball away. AC Green's defense forcing a tough chance. And Green draws the push from Robinson, his third foul.
We always talk about decision-making against a good team. Yes, you want to apply pressure. You've got AC Green 75 feet from the hoop. He's not going to beat you out there. You just want to stay with them. You don't want to get a quick foul. Cliff Robinson does.
Magic draws the double team, quickly gets out of it. Worthy with 12 in the shot clock. Ball batted around. Buck Williams picks it up. Inside to Williams. Kersey with the assist. Portland by 9.
And in this situation, they got to make Sam Perkins go to his left, but you don't want to draw the obvious foul. Teagle.
Not there. AC Green with a save for the Lakers. And we have a timeout.
Jerome Kersey with a nice lead for Buck Williams as he goes inside for an easy 2.
9.5 to go. Portland by 9. Doing the wave in the Willamette Valley.
And they're waving because of the intense play that's been taking place out on the floor, but you have 2 Warriors going at it, and AC Green and Jerome Kersey. Neither one of them want to give ground, even when the ball is out of bounds, and you see on a dead ball, they still have words to say.
Green giving the Lakers muscle, especially on the offensive boards. It's Portland out-rebounding the Lakers 42-27, a plus 15. Tom?
Dick, during the timeout, the Lakers talked about rebounding. They said the boards will make the difference and concentrate on blocking out your man. We've got to hit the boards.
9-point advantage for Portland.
And to follow up on that, it's a 42-27 advantage for the Trailblazers on the glass. 20 of those at the offensive end.
Boy, Buck Williams almost undressing Perkins in there. Teagle almost lost it and then misses the layup, and it's knocked in by A.C. Green.
A huge effort by A.C. Green. They got Teagle out of control. He was fortunate to get to the rim, and Green saved it. Again, Drexler's got a guy in Byron Scott that he can overpower. He's got to look to take advantage of that.
Ames fouled as Scott hit him in the head as he flew by. Byron didn't think so.
We talked about the warrior mentality of A.C. Green and the fact that he just won't quit on a play. Teagle right at the rim, can't miss. He comes from outside to tip that ball in.
That was a great example of boxing out. Boy, he was giving himself some real estate. Kersey out for a breather. Porter back in. Ames for three. Byron Scott.
One of the problems that Portland has sometimes is they try to stab you and kill you all at once with a big play. This is a grind them out game, and they've got to know that they're not going to get too many of those threes to go down.
Approaching the 8.5-minute mark of the final quarter, the Lakers down by 7. Teagle. Blocked by Robinson. How did he get to that ball? With 1 second on the shot clock, so that means the Lakers have only time for a desperation pass and throw. See what they do.
Difference between Teagle and Scott. Scott would have pulled the trigger on that first pass. Teagle hesitated.
It doesn't count. Even had it gone, Perkins didn't get it off.
Now, if you're Portland, you got to take advantage of your big defensive stand. You can't let plays like that go for naught. So they've got to come back down at this end and find a way to make the Lakers pay. They're trying to find a shot for Drexler.
Give and go to Robinson, and boy, a couple of skips right to Porter, and then tipped up by Robinson. He's got to be a terrific player if he isn't already.
Huge effort that time by Chris Robinson. 2 tips and down.
So mobile for 6'10". Teagle left alone. Can't hit it. Ames fighting, but it's Green with a loose ball and a new 24 for the Lakers. Perkins for 3. Ames gets it. 7.5 to go. Porter to Drexler. 11-point lead, Portland. And now they're starting to believe.
The crowd on their feet. Cliff Robinson, one of the reasons why. Ball movement has been a problem for the Trailblazers, but not tonight as Clyde Drexler cut hard to the hoop. Looks like he wants to lay it in and then just turns it over.
.26 left in the fourth. Young man, Magic show canceled. Well, regardless what happens tonight, Magic will be around at least for 2 more. While we were in commercial, the fans in a total celebration. Their signs out, cheering and singing and dancing. It's a 3-game season now to go to the finals against Chicago. They're trying to cut it to 2. Meanwhile, the Lakers need only to win 1, and it'll be Magic against Michael in the finals. Ames out, Kersey back in for Portland.
If you're Portland, you want to make the Lakers have to earn every shot that they get and not give them 3-point plays in the process. Magic.
25 as Magic leads all scores. 9-point Portland advantage. every possession important now as Portland wants to use as much clock, get a good shot. Lakers need not waste any opportunity.
Trying to take advantage of Cliff Robinson against Magic.
Look at Green fly in for the rebound.
Green's got a rebounder mentality. He goes to get him. He's got 9, but you don't see him laying back.
Another hook. This one short, and Buck Williams, who leads all rebounders, has another. That's 14 for Williams. James Worthy walking toward the Laker dressing room again, so he probably is through for the night. Williams blocked by a foul. Oh, is that action heavy around the iron? That's like a skirmish in front of the net in hockey. Body slamming.
Well, we got a hockey attitude by the Trailblazers tonight. Not only are they going after everything in desperation to keep this series alive, they're also doing it with shots on goal. They have more shots on goal than the Los Angeles Lakers, and that's the way they've been able to carve themselves the lead here tonight because their percentage was very low at the outset.
Just a moment ago, it was Blazers attempting 17 more than the Lakers. Rush Schneiderman now officially 16. Buck Williams played for Lefty Driesell at the University of Maryland. Acquired from the New Jersey Nets. Not his strength free throw shooting. That's why it gets really quiet here when he's on the line.
Well, I remember in game 1, 109, 106, 30 seconds to go. He was on the line, a chance to keep it very close and perhaps change what the Lakers had to do. He missed the ball, too.
And it's a 10-point Portland lead. 6:07 to go. Field goals now even the shooting from the floor. That's really down for the Lakers. Over 50% for the playoffs. They started hot in the first quarter. And a foul on Kersey, and watch out, Kersey and Divac. And Jerome Kersey, as emotional as anyone on this Portland club. That's a couple of challenges he's thrown out in the second half.
You saw Divac come across. Now you watch, he'll come up. Kersey thought he was trying to catch him, and he does. He comes right across the face with the hand on the way down.
Jerome's really serious? Oh, my. I don't blame Divac for going into that Belgrade backpedal. 5:53 left. The two stars pitted again. Magic against Drexler, and they take it away. It's Porter going the other way. Green. The lead is a dozen.
And that's what defensive pressure can do. It'll make even a great player make a mistake.
7 on the shot clock. Divac with 5.
That's the guy that they've got to stop scoring cheaply, and he's able to waltz in against a smaller Jerome Kersey. They were trying to come from the weak side, didn't get there in time. 2 points kills a run.
10-point lead with 5 to go for Portland.
Now they come back with Drexler down on the box, and they like to drop the ball inside. And in this situation, he looks to pass, much like Magic, almost a turnover.
Shot clock 4. Porter now has to really force a long one. Almost banked it in, and they get a new 24.
Drexler with a huge rebound save.
Adelman off the bench and was barking at the officials who told him to go sit down. Drexler gets the foul. No, it's going to be against Drexler for charging his 4th.
Offensive foul by
Drexler going hard to the hole, thought he had an advantage right there, went up, but doesn't get the whistle. The Lakers call timeout.
That almost appeared to be anticipated. Not a lot of contact. Timeout. 4.5 to go. Portland looking for a win to force Game 6 in Los Angeles.
And the way they have done it is by defensive pressure, and they've made even a great player like Magic Johnson hurry his thoughts and what he wanted to do, and in the process, a nice steal and pass out to Terry Porter for an easy two.
They say that Magic has eyes in his elbows. One of the Blazers crediting him with that. Well, Porter did a pretty good job of anticipating where Green was coming from and protecting the ball on that shot. Tom? Dick, your guess about James Worthy a couple of minutes ago was accurate. He is through for the night. He won't be back in the game, finally succumbing to the pain of that sprained left ankle. General Manager Jerry West, 53, his birthday today, hoping for a bit better, but the Lakers have some tough duty. No basket. Divac, he was fouled before the shot by Cliff Robinson. 4 on Robinson.
Game one, Divac was the hero in that fourth quarter and leading the Lakers surge back with that kind of play coming across the middle, and the Trailblazers are trying to take it away by bodying him further out on the floor. Jake O'Donnell just went right over to Cliff Robinson and said, let him run, which you do have to do. Illegal defense.
And that will carry the technical foul and send Magic Johnson to the line.
Magic Johnson will shoot the technical.
What the Lakers are trying to do by coming back inside the defense is force a double team and force a foul. And if they're able to get the foul, that means they'll be able to stop the clock, score cheaply, and stay within striking distance.
The lead is now 9, 88-79. Again, works on Robinson. Magic.
1 for 3.
Way off. Last touch, Eldon Campbell. Campbell, the rookie from Clemson, seeing his first duty.
Now the Lakers look like they may be showing some trap of their own right now. This may be their hurry-up chance to make the Trailblazers turn the ball over. They've got Campbell and Divac and Perkins all shot blockers in. If you're Portland, you've got to attack this. You've got to go to the basket with authority. Now, the Lakers right now zoning it up.
Buck Williams takes the shot, and first a illegal defense call against the Lakers. Mike Dunleavy's club, a technical foul, and Portland will go to the line.
Technical.
Dunleavy, 37, from Brooklyn, went to South Carolina, played for the great Frank McGuire.
You know something about college ball. What was that, a 1-2-2 zone? But it's a responsibility of the offense to expose it. If you don't have a pass or a cutter going to the hoop, get it done. Porter boots the free throw.
It remains a 9-point lead, Portland. The clock, 3:40 remaining in this game in Portland, and Rick Adelman uses a timeout. Portland 88, Los Angeles 79. Driven by these incredibly enthusiastic fans in Portland, the Blazers have a 9-point lead with 3:40 to go. A reminder again, only four clubs in NBA history of the playoffs have rallied from 1-3 down. No one has ever come back, loved 3 down, and that proved true again this year as the Bulls swept out the Pistons. Portland trying to fight that kind of tough history. We said earlier, 32 times since 1981, a team has 1-3. All of them went out. Portland trying to keep their chances alive with a win tonight.
The Lakers have their best interior defenders in, and it's up to Portland to try to get to the basket, score easily inside. They get a foul.
Give and go, and Kersey was fouled, and they're not going to give him a shot on that. He was passing. And that now is fifth on Divac, and the 4th team foul. So from here on out, both Dunleavy and Adelman will go to the line on any fouls.
You see Dunleavy tell his players, get up and deny. That means that the lane will be open. You've got bigger people guarding smaller people.
Perkins deflected. Robinson shoots.
Portland dodged the bullet that time because Robinson took a real tough shot. They're fortunate to get it back. There's 10 on the shot clock, and in the last 2 possessions, Portland doesn't seem to have a good idea of what they want to do against these tall players.
Porter over Campbell. Drexler kept it alive for Kersey, and another 24. And And the clock is down to 3:02, 3:01, 3 minutes to go. Drexler with a left hand. Kept alive again by Williams, and finally Byron Scott the Magic. 2:50 left. Lakers trail by 9. Divac spins around Robinson and draws the foul. 5 on Robinson. Divac to the line.
One thing you've got to give Lottie Divac, and that's the ability to adjust. And he has adjusted his game. You watch, now he's trying to draw fouls offensively. A little bit of an out-of-control move, but he gets to the line because of the hand check.
So both Divac and Robinson with 5. Lottie, only 23 years old. He's got that look of innocence and wonder.
Lakers have broken down in the second half at the offensive end, and one of the reasons because of the defense of the Trailblazers and no James Worthy.
Worthy played sparingly, played well despite the bad ankle, just only saw limited duty, about 20 minutes.
And again, against that kind of pressure that they're throwing up, Portland needs to go to the hoop. They get an illegal defense, another one, but you've got to take advantage of your advantage.
Dunleavy furious at that called illegal defense. He says that wasn't a zone. We're just trying to double team the ball. Evan Campbell gets the call, and the technical will be shot by Terry Porter.
The reaction of Dunleavy tells you he wants this game. He wants to finish this thing right now, and he needs every break that he possibly can.
Porter looking for a 17-point. 8-point advantage, Portland.
The question he's asking, who? Did you give him the answer?
He is a battler, a quiet bulldog, and that man, Dunleavy, who has earned the respect and the praise of his players in his first year as head coach.
Lakers want to force a turnover or a quick shot from the perimeter. It's Portland's job to move the ball and then attack the basket, try to draw the foul.
Kersey with 12. Clock ticking down, 2:10 left. 8-point lead.
Go to a hole.
Drexler to Buck Williams. Can't hit, gets it right back. Williams. A new 24. And there's 2 minutes to go. They've out-rebounded the Lakers by 16 tonight.
Again, a mismatch with Perkins on Drexler. That means he's going to be able to get inside. Can he make a play?
Drexler over Campbell. Money shot by Clyde Drexler. A 10-point lead. Looks as if there'll be Game 6 at the Forum Thursday night. Perkins. Robinson rebounds. 1.5 to go. 9 o'clock Eastern time. Should Portland win Game 6 from Los Angeles?
Again, the idea is to use some time but aggressively go to the hoop. They turn it over.
Byron Scott, he'll look for a 3 if it's there. Porter trying to shut it off. 1:08 to go. Magic pops for 3. Oh, makes it look so easy. 91-84. We're in the final minute.
But tonight, Magic Johnson has had to be a scorer, and the Trailblazers have had an advantage. He hits a 3. He's got 7 in the quarter.
Well, your theory, the more he scores, the better it is for the opposition. That means the other players on the Lakers aren't getting their shots, and Magic had 29 to lead all scorers. Porter beats the buzzer, gets it right back on a tip out for Drexler. And now they know. They're not out of the playoffs. They'll go to Los Angeles for Game 6. And remember, during the regular season, the 3 games played in L.A., 2 were won by the Blazers in overtime. So they go there despite the fact that they were whipped soundly in Games 3 and 4, knowing they can win down in Los Angeles. So hope, well, they'll be talking into the wee hours this morning in Portland.
You know that they're alive and well now in Portland. This town has been dead and buried over the weekend, and this win brings them back alive. The Trailblazers had to scratch and claw to do whatever they could to get themselves a trip back down south, and now it's on the Lakers to come back and try to shut them out in Game 6.
When they won here in Game 2, they out-rebounded the Lakers 51-28. They've out-rebounded them 51-33 tonight. So that's a key statistic. Even Robinson is hitting free throws. The victory celebration is on in Portland. Oh, Magic Johnson looking at Danny Ainge there, admiring Johnson, and Michael Jordan admiring the opportunity to play either team. But, well, the natural would be Magic and Michael, but Portland would like to ruin that plan. And a man who is in the way tonight is our Miller Genuine Draft Player of the Game, Buck Williams of the Blazers, chipped in with 13 points and 15 big rebounds for the former NBA Rookie of the Year, acquired last season by the Blazers from the New York Nets for Sam Bowie in a #1. Congratulations to Buck Williams. NBC and Miller Genuine Draft donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund in his name. 28 seconds to go. Byron Scott for 3. Misses everything. Williams has another rebound. And he is fouled by Perkins. Well, for Irvin Johnson and the Los Angeles Lakers, no magic tricks tonight. Portland has seen some of that sleight of hand, and they came out prepared to cut off the angles.
I think that Magic and the Lakers were prepared for this kind of effort. They also knew that they had a game to spare. You see his numbers tonight, almost a triple-double, 29 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. But that's the column you got to circle when the Lakers don't win a ball game. Johnson with just 7 assists. They're going to make some substitutions now.
In fact, Magic's top playoff figures 44, 43, 43. Lakers lost all 3. And, of course, with James Worthy, we don't know how serious that ankle injury is and how well he'll be able to play, if at all, on Thursday night. 2 more for the Blazers, who lead by 11. 10 seconds to go, and a turnover as the Lakers have cleared the bench. Only Divot's out there, a starter. And at the Forum Thursday night, 17,505, and that's one of the noisier LA crowds you've ever seen, right? Sunday, they'll be ready to counter this. But it's 3 games to 2. Rick Adelman's Blazers beating 8 for Steve Jones and Tom Hammond, Dick Enberg in Portland. Thank you. Next on NBC, except on the West Coast, for your late local news. Then the Tonight Show, followed by Late Night with David Letterman, and later with Bob Costas. This has been a presentation of the NBA on NBC. See you Thursday night.